Hello, 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 supercharge your brain. Happy Monday, happy vibrant brain Monday. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Some of you are 1 week out now from the I Am Vibrant retreat. So if you haven't posted and shared yet, I really want to hear what your takeaways from the retreat were. In particular, you set your sights on an intention, really stronger than an intention, a decision to create something for yourself in the month of January and to solve all the problems and get rid of all the distractions that get between you and what you want. Because when you do that, you're raising your vibration. When you raise your vibration, you're accomplishing that goal. So if you were at the I Am Vibrant retreat and you haven't shared yet, please do after listening to our Vibrant Brain Monday. If you're joining us for the first time for Vibrant Brain Monday, hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Leah Lund. I'm the creator of One Whole Health and The Vibrant Woman. And The Vibrant Woman is a community of women dedicated to changing their brain and managing their mind, managing their emotions, mastering their mindset so that they can have vibrant health and mental clarity and really live their most fulfilling life with ease. And so on Vibrant Brain Mondays, I come to you to share strategies for brain health, strategies for having your brain be as sharp and clear and focused and motivated and happy as you possibly can. And today I'm going to talk about the correlation between inflammation. So there was, I don't know if anybody else saw this, but one of the members of our community brought this to my attention in Psychology Today. It's an article, it's a cover article. I believe this is the January. I don't actually, February, the February edition, but it's the one that's out now. And it's an article called Escaping Depression, the Promise of New and Personalized Treatment. And it answers or addresses, or at least starts the conversation, I should say, of whether or not silent inflammation in the body is causing depression in our mind. So a member of our community asked me to check this out, and I said, sure, I will, and I'll give you my thoughts. And I thought, well, as long as I'm commenting on it, it would be great to share with you guys here in the Supercharge Your Brain group. So first of all, I have to say about this article, what I get the most excited about is when I see allopathic medicine going into and talking about the functional approach and the holistic approach to things. So that alone made my day to see that, mainstream psychology today is talking about things from a functional perspective and basically asking the question, could our body be affecting our mind? Could our body be affecting our brain? So leading edge functional and holistic doctors and naturopaths and nutritionists and coaches, health coaches, the answer to that would be, of course. But the fact that it's a mainstream conversation to me truly is exciting and encouraging. And what we've known in the functional world of medicine for a long time is that what is happening in the body is happening in the brain. So as I talk about this today, here's the lowdown on what I'm going to cover. I'm going to give you my thoughts and my summation of this article, and I'm going to tell you what to me is always the most important about any research that you read, how to apply it for you. And I'm going to tell you actually specifically what I'm going to do, because this article did inspire me to take some action. So if you're just coming in, jump in, say hi. And so I'll start out with the summation of the article, and I'll keep this short and to the point. And of course now I'm not even getting the actual page, but I can tell you the answer to in this article to whether or not silent inflammation in the body is causing depression was a strong maybe. The answer in the article was a strong maybe. And they went on to say that it could be that inflammation is causing depression, it could be that depression is causing inflammation, or it could be that there's some outside third factor contributing to both. But either way, what they're finding is that a third of people with depression, which they're now calling major depressive disorder, I'm going to use the word depression, but a third of people with depression also have high indication of inflammation. And these are by the biomarkers, things like homocysteine, or things like C-reactive protein, homocysteine for heart, and cytokines. And so they're seeing this correlation that a third of people with depression have these markers for inflammation, and yet they can't say definitively because there's so many factors which came first, right? It's basically a chicken and egg situation. So that was the summation of the article, is there's a correlation. Again, as I said, in the functional medicine world, we know this. We know what's happening in the body is happening in the brain, and therefore, of course, it's happening in the mind, because the mind and the brain are, to me, I say, of course, very interrelated. This is why in the functional world, we're starting to refer to Alzheimer's as diabetes type 3, because this is the same buildup of plaque. It's just amyloid plaque instead of the plaque in your body. It's the plaque in your brain. It is the same metabolic issue, and it's the same signs of inflammation that are present with Alzheimer's that are present in the body with all kinds of other diseases like diabetes and stroke and just any kind of body disease. So the correlation is there, and there's a wealth of research that you could read about that. But then the question becomes, well, what do I do about that? If I have depression, what do I do about it? And if I don't, but I want to avoid, maybe you just feel the seasonal down, the seasonal blues when it's dark and gray and stormy this time of year especially, maybe that's getting to you. So what does that have to do with your inflammation? And most importantly, what do you do about it? So silent inflammation can be happening in our body even when we don't feel anything. So you might think of arthritis or something like that, where you have a physical pain, a physical sign, but you can have no physical symptoms like that and still have high inflammation happening. We call it silent inflammation for a reason, and it's happening on the cellular level. And what we have known for well over a decade, I know I've been teaching this statistic, in fact, for well over a decade, is that inflammation contributes to every known disease. So in this article, they then go, when they make the connection of these high markers of inflammation contributing to depression, then what's causing the high markers of inflammation? And they name stress. And this is also something that we've known. Stress contributes to every known disease. We've known this for some time. And what unfortunately they don't mention, other than one time I found, you can read it and tell me if you see something else, but when I went through one place did I see a 4-letter word that was diet. Food came into this whole conversation only one time. And to me, that's a really, really big miss, because much of our silent inflammation can be affected and influenced or prevented by what we eat. So the bottom line, maybe silent inflammation is leading to depression, probably because it leads to every known disease out there. And we know that stress and diet affect the inflammation. So what this said to me in application, because that's what I'm all about. As a health coach for the members of our community, I am here to support you in figuring out what to do with all that information, how to make it work in your busy day-to-day life in a way that is meaningful and fulfilling to you, how to self-prioritize, how to prioritize yourself so that you can reduce your inflammation, so that you can avoid or lessen depression, and live a fun and fulfilling life, because that's the point, right? Life is meant to be enjoyed. You are here to feel good. So the biggest manageable, the thing that you have the most control over with your inflammation is your stress and your food. So what are inflammatory causing foods? They're the things you would expect. All of the processed foods, all of the sugary foods, trans fats, anything, any kind of processed white bread, white pasta, I'm saying hi there. Gluten, the oils that can turn rancid, like soybean oils and the vegetable oils, anything processed is what causes us the most inflammation. So what's the strategy? The opposite of that is to eat real whole foods, not processed food. So here is some strategies that are real that you can take into your life starting today. Reduce your stress. Keep in mind, 99% of stress is perceived. So reduce as much as you can the real stressors, and then work with somebody on your mindset so that the others, and on mindfulness, so that the other causes of stress that are more perceived in nature aren't affecting you. change your diet to be eating in an anti-inflammatory way. And then make sure, my third tip of things that I think you should do or recommend for you is that make sure your inflammation markers are part of at least your annual testing. So every time I get, all the regular things, some are more valuable than others, I make sure that C-reactive protein is one of the markers that I test, just so you can measure, just so you can keep an eye on it. Here's truly what I'm going to do about my inflammation. Number one, I know that I eat and recommend that everybody eat something called Juice Plus. This is antioxidant rich because it's real vegetables and fruits. And if you're familiar with it, great. If you're not, I'll put up a link where you can find some information. This is a direct marketing powderized capsule, food in a capsule. One of my clients calls it Jetson food, if you're old enough to remember the Jetsons. And I agree, but there's been independent third-party research there by the University of South Carolina that shows it does lower your markers of inflammation. So for me, I'm deciding right now to double my dose. I've been a little inconsistent, to be really honest, over the past year. So I'm going to double my dose, okay? Because there was also a little bit in this article about how perimenopause and menopause can affect this for women. And my takeaway is that when we're 50 and older, which I am now 50, we have to be even more vigilant about avoiding things that cause inflammation in our body, because the inflammation builds up and we're just simply of that age. So I'm going to double up on my Juice Plus. The other thing is I've always lived by a 90-10 rule, meaning eat 90% the way your body needs, nutrient dense food as fuel, and then allow yourself that 10% of fluctuation as long as you have a healthy indifference. And you guys know what I mean by healthy indifference, I think, if you've been following. I'm going to up that. I'm going to up that now in my 50s and make it 95 to 5. 95 to 5. The other thing that I'm doing is upping my exercise. My 50s is going to be the decade where I get in the best shape of my life, and I've been in really good shape before. I'm not there right now, to be honest with you. I'm okay, but I'm not in the best. My 50s are going to be my decade of the best physical shape so far. I always add yet or so far on the end of statements like that. So those are the things that I'm doing. I want to hear, what are you doing to decrease your inflammation? Because yes, inflammation is connected to every known disease, including depression. And in the study of epigenetics, we know, I want to share a couple last stats. Dr. David Katz, he's the head of the Yale Prevention Research Center, and he makes a statement that poor diet in children contributes to more health issues than drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. Food contributes to health issues in children more than drug, alcohol, and tobacco combined. If it's true for children, it's true for us. So food is power. Food is power for your vibrant brain. Food is power to keep your inflammation down so that you don't get any of the diseases that are at higher risk the more silent inflammation you have, including those in your brain specifically and in something that we think of as the mind, which is depression. So I want to hear, what are you going to do to lower your inflammation? Let's do this together. It's absolutely possible. We can control 2/3, science estimates, of our predisposition for diseases. 2/3 are really our lifestyle over our genes. So the power is yours. And that's my plans. I want to hear yours. Have a great, vibrant Monday, everybody.